Good people, what's up? Whoa, I broke a string right there at the end. So I always like to get a complete take, but I actually punched in the last couple chords of that because the take was cool. The string broke like right in the middle. You ever have that happen on like the first string where it breaks right around the 12th fret? So weird, but anyways. Hey, this is a video all about these terrific XOTIC pedals. You heard them on both the clean guitar parts as well as the dirty guitar part on that track at the beginning of the video. These things are just awesome. It's the Super Clean and Super Sweet from XOTIC. These are booster and buffer pedals that are not just typical run-of-the-mill boosters and buffers. They actually allow you to shape your tone via some mini dip switches there on the side of the pedal. So you can kind of hone in on the frequencies that you want to boost and really tune those in a great way that not only sounds terrific, but feels great under the fingers. So for instance, on that clean guitar part on the track at the beginning of the video, that was one of the coolest clean sounds I've been able to record, I feel like, in a long time with both these pedals. I started out by using the Super Clean, and then I went to the Super Sweet, and I was using the neck pickup on my Sir PT Signature guitar split, so it was like a single coil. Now, a lot of people might not think you could get that cool of a single coil tone, I bet, out of a split humbucker. But man, it sure did sound great, especially with these pedals. One thing about a split humbucker, especially if it's kind of a PAF style humbucker, is the single coil sound is going to be pretty weak because a PAF style pickup's only like 7 to 8K or something anyway. So you split that in half and it's actually weaker than most single coil pickups out there. But boosted with one of these pedals, man, what an amazing single coil sound. I was super happy with the sound I was able to get. And I kind of think this would be a good candidate, either one of these actually, as an always on pedal. I mean, I was so happy with that clean sound I was able to get. I wouldn't want to turn one of these pedals off once I had that sound dialed in. So I started off with the Super Clean pedal, and what I did as far as the switches on the side is I was boosting low mids and boosting high mids. So both the switches in the middle were in the up position, looks something like that. And that seemed to just really target the key kind of guitar frequencies that just made the tone speak, and it feels great under the fingers too, just really fun to play. And you heard the big effect that the pedal had right at the beginning of the video when I turned it on. And then the next part was the Super Sweet. Now how this pedal differs is that it's actually got a lot more boost in it on tap. So you can boost up to 20 dB with this pedal. With the Super Clean, you can boost up to 12 dB. So they sound quite similar to me, maybe a little bit different. I enjoyed using them both. I mainly focused on using the Super Clean in my video because it seemed like I had enough gain to do just about anything I needed. That 12 dB of boost seemed like enough for anything I wanted to do. But if you want to kick your amp harder, the Super Sweet is really cool. And I was boosting a little bit more with it than I was with the Super Clean. So you might have heard when I laid into certain notes or chords that they had just a little bit of breakup on them as I was kicking the front end of my Sir Hedgehog amp on the clean channel. I should mention that the buffer in both of these sounds just great. I mean, you're going to be able to drive really long cable lines. If you got a lot of effects on your board or you're using long cable lengths, it's not going to be an issue if you're using one of these in your rig, that's for sure. So let's talk about the dirty part on the song at the beginning of the video, and then I'm going to play a little bit more for you. I was playing through my Marshall amp, and I used the Super Clean with the gain up about halfway or maybe a little bit further to boost the amp into a really killer saturated tone. It felt really great under the fingers. What I was doing was actually using the high cut and then also using the high mid boost at the same time. With the high cut on into the boosted Marshall, it just tamed the top end enough that I felt like it sounded really cool, still bitey and clear, but yet without like a sizzle on the top that would be unpleasant. Sometimes if you use just like a straight clean boost pedal into like a dirty Marshall and the presence treble are up, it can sound a little hairy and out of control. And so this just tended to warm up the top end just enough. And yet then when I had the high mid boost on as well, it had this really great kind of gnarly tone that just cut through the mix, I felt like. So not just for clean sounds for sure, one of these will sound great for boosting into a crunchy amp or maybe a heavily saturated amp for solos, just to kick it way over the top. Let's listen to the Marshall a little bit more. I'll flip the dip switches, both the high mids, the low mids, the bass boost, and the high cut, and you can hear what they all do. So on the dirty guitar part on the track at the beginning of the video, I used my old 71 Marshall, and I was jumpering both channels, and I had the gain on the treble channel on about 5 or 6, and I was mixing in the bass channel, was on about 2 or 3, something like that. And the mids are about 3/4 of the way up. The treble and the presence were somewhere around 5, something like that, and bass was around 5. And this is the tone with no pedal, and I still got my broken string on my guitar. So you can get relatively clean by just rolling down to 7 or 8 on the guitar, and then a really great crunch sound by rolling it all the way up. Okay, I'm turning on the Super Clean with the gain halfway up and none of the dip switch options on yet. Okay, that sounds really cool, but one thing I really liked is using the high cut on this part. So I'm going to hit the first dip switch here, and this rolls off a little bit of top. Okay, so that's nice with the dirty Marshall because the Marshall's already pretty bright. If I now hit the high mid on, it's interesting because now I'm cutting high end and boosting the high mid by turning this on. Okay, let's hear what it sounds like now turning on the low mids as well. Okay, with this particular amp, I don't know if I would do that. I'm going to boost everything now. I'm going to boost the bass. Okay, so I don't really think those low boosts work with the Marshall that well, but I love the high mid boost. I think that's really cool. But point is, you've got options there. It sounded really great into the dirty amp to me to cut the high end and then boost the high mids as well. Thanks for watching my video on these super sweet and super clean booster buffer pedals from XOTIC. These are really terrific pedals, not just typical run-of-the-mill booster buffers. I mean, they do that. They will preserve your tone if you're running through lots of cable, lots of different effects pedals and all that good stuff. And they'll do sort of run-in-the-mill boost, but you can also get all kinds of boost out of them by using the dip switches on the side to target the frequencies that you want to boost. High mids, low mids, bass frequencies, roll off a little bit of top end to warm things up. The top end roll off's a nice way to counteract the tonal effects of a buffer as well. If you feel like maybe the buffer in the pedals makes your signal a little too bright, maybe you like some of the high end roll off that long cables give you, well, you can simulate that and still keep your tone nice and strong by using the high cut. Great sounding pedals that also feel great under the fingers. You can check these things out further at the website that you see there on your screen. Please hit subscribe if you haven't. Hit the little bell beside the subscribe button and come back and see me for more videos real soon. All right, I'm Pete Thorn. Take care.